Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the French Tier 9 Premium Medium Tank, the Char Futur 4. Now this has recently come back on sale again for the first time since it was first sold a wee while ago. And it's on discount. And I've had a fair few questions about it saying, is it worth it? Is it good? How is it? You know. Now, it's a good tank, but it's a hell of a lot of gold. And you can get a lot of other tanks for a lot cheaper that are probably just as good. But apart from the price, I think it is a pretty damn nice tank. Because it's got good mobility, good camo, a good clip potential. But it does have some drawbacks, like the intra clip being 4 seconds, which is very long and a bit painful at sometimes it's painful. And it's got a very long reload at the fully pimped 34.8 seconds. But the pen is great as well. To say the camo and the mobility makes up for a lot of it. It is a hell of a lot of fun to play. It's fairly similar in a way to the Barask in the way I play it. So I play it more like that sort of stealthy, light, pseudo light tank, medium tank thing, right? You know, that kind of play style where I kind of play it kind of like a light tank, but it is a medium tank that can dish out some hefty damage too. And I won't say if it's worth it or not because, well, it's a lot of gold. It's a hell of a lot. It's a very, very expensive tank. And I'll leave that down to you whether you think it's worth the amount by just seeing what the nuances of the tank are, seeing how it feels, how it plays, you know. Obviously, you kind of discount the results a little bit because they are extremely good results. You just want to see how you feel about having that really long intro clip, which can be a little bit awkward at times, and having sort of gun elevation problems and stuff. But you can see with how the camo is, the amount of damage it can dish out, just how nice it can be. So in terms of a crew on this tank, I do run a crew that is very similar to the Barask, like I say, because I play it fairly similarly. And I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Track Mechanic, Muffled Shot, and Camouflage Expertise. Like I said in the Barask video, I think it was yesterday, I run the Muffled Shot and the Muffled Shot and the Camouflage Expertise because I want to make the camo better. And I want to be able to make it so that when I'm in a situation like you're seeing here, where I'm firing and I'm stationary, it's reducing the amount that firing is, well, the effect that firing is having on my camo, and I can stay on spot and be able to wait out this extra long intra clip. Now, it is very nice for that because, obviously, like I say, this intra clip is very, very long, and the longer you can stay on spotted in this tank, it gives you more opportunity to wait for the intra clip to get in, wait for you to get the shell, and then you can pour the shots in where you are, which is nice. So in terms of equipment, I also run pretty much the same as I do on the Barask as well, which is vert stabs, optics, and camouflage net. Like I say, make the camo better, make your gun handling better, because it is 0.38 accuracy, so 20% extra accuracy on the vert stabs is definitely nice, and then make your view range better, because, like I said, I do play it to spot out a little bit here and there. Now, it does have 2.7 seconds aim time, which can feel like an age a little bit, but once you're sat still firing, it's not too bad. The 264 pen, I think it's got on the APCR is really, really good. You've got 330 heat pen, which again is fantastic. You've got great shell velocity on these standard rounds. It's a pretty nice tank, honestly, to be honest. It's a really nice medium tank, and it's a pretty decent autoloader. The only problem with it is, in terms of that, is just how long the intro clip is. It does take 12 seconds to get the whole clip out once you've fired the first shot, which is a long time. But 1600 damage is also a lot of damage, so you're dishing out a good amount. So, we're on this first game, and we're on highway. And we've got this spawn, which is the northeast corner, and we've just used this ridgeline, because this ridgeline is a very good spot. There's not too much else I would have done in this tank, really, if I'd gone anywhere else, because I couldn't really have brawled in the town, because this tank is not a brawler. It takes too long to get the damage out. It's got no armour. It's got the ability to ricochet shells off its turret when you're on ridge lines and you're using your gun depression. It can ricochet. Don't rely on it ever, okay? But it can ricochet shells here and there just because of angles. But it wants to be playing that mid to long range sniper spotter, right? So you go spot, you pull back to a position where they're not going to be able to see you, and you fire. And this is where camouflage net, muffled shot, the camo expertise really helps us again, because they're just within our detection circle, right? But they still can't see us because our camo is that good. And I need to get rid of these guys, because I didn't want to push along the A-line, because the A-line, well, I was probably going to die if I pushed across there. And like I say, pushing to the town, it's not a brawler. So they've managed to push across this A-line, get into our cap. I unfortunately missed the shot on the Emil too, but I need to just sort of get away a little bit so I can get the clip in again, because the reload is quite a long reload for this clip at 34.8 seconds or whatever it is. You just got to wait it out and then be able to dish out the damage. So we're 10 seconds out, and it's like, right, okay, I need to get rid of... This Emil 2 is capping. He's about to win. I can reload... Obviously, I'll reload before he wins, but I need to get the reset in. Obviously, just as I'm swinging in, of course, he leaves. We missed the first shot. Pen the second. He ended up ricocheting off our turret earlier on, and then Pen does there. But we do get to shut him down. We've got one shell left in the clip. There's this Inferno over here in front of us. We want to get over there to shut him down. But he gets killed by the Earthshaker. And it's like, well, I've got one shell left. I want to use it. Now this Balsig over here is a one-shot for me. We're going to see if we can get this shell into him so we're not wasting our time reloading. Plus, this is the last shell of APCR we've got left as well. So there's no point reloading the heat rounds because... Well, there is every point in reloading the heat rounds, but obviously I don't want to reload a full clip of heat and then get to the point where I might run out of ammo and then only have one round of APCR for like a 35-second reload, which would be painful. So we're reloading the heat clip now because that's what we've got left. There's 4 tanks left. There's 2 artillery, a heavy tank, and a light tank. In fact, the light tank just got shut down by our 1390. So we're going for the heavy tank, and it's like, well... The heavy tank might be where heavy tanks be, which is the town. We end up getting lit up there as we're coming in. It's like, what? Oh, there he is. There's the Type 4 heavy. So we're going to move up behind this guy, hopefully, and get a shots into his rear. Because with the heat rounds, it's likely if we shoot him in the side, it's probably going to get absorbed by his spaced armor, because that's what the Types do if you shoot them in the side. So I want to make sure I get up behind him. And here we do, we get up behind him. We want to stay away from his gun as well, which is why I'm doing it. Because obviously, he might have the derp gun, and the derp gun hurts this tank a lot. It can pen it so easily. But fortunately enough for me, I can just stay glued to his butt and drop all of the shells in there and finish him off. And we're up to 6k damage, 622 assistance. We managed to get most of the health for that Type 4, which was absolutely beautiful. And now there's just artillery left, and the artillery is being closed down by the 1390, but we want to see if we can try and get there to get the kills on them, because we can't, you know, getting a Pascucci's medal is always the best. It's not as good as the Dimitrius, because you can kill all 3, or, yeah, you can kill all 3, but, you know, we want a Pascucci's, because who doesn't love killing the piggies? So while we're chasing over there, I'm hoping I'm able to get some shots up. I want to try and stay as high as possible on these ridge lines, to be able to see... If this 1390 lights them up like he has done this first one, I can still get shots at them. So right here, you're seeing that I can actually still see this guy. Unfortunately, the shell misses and derps. We just add a little bit of lead on there to get the heat round in, because the heat round does have slower velocity than the standard APCR. We managed to get it into that artillery piece, and now we've got 2 shells left. We're not going to shut down that RE because the 3090 is over there. But unfortunately, he actually left the Lorraine and went for the other GW Tiger Pig, which was a bit weird. But it is what it is, and we're just going to try and manoeuvre into position to try and see if we can see this guy. He's annoyingly manoeuvred himself into position where I can't shoot him, but he drives straight out in front of our gun, which is great. And we finished that game with 6.4k damage, the victory. Top of the team, 5 kills, 622 assistance, ace tanker, the high caliber. I actually think that was the game I got my second mark in this tank. 1821 base XP. A really nice game for the Char Futur 4. Like I say, you play it like this sort of run and gun spotter mid to long range sniper. You can have a decent time in it. You've just got to know what targets you're going to pick and whether you're going to be able to drop the clip into them without taking damage. You just got to pick your moments. So in this second game, we're on highway again. Funny that, isn't it? We're on highway again. And we're in the different spawn. We're in the southwest spawn. And I'm going to make the same play that you saw in the Barask yesterday, because it is a very good play from our spawn. Because if your team does what our team is doing now, going along the 1 line, they'll be able to get shots into these people that go across the A line. Which is why pushing across the A line from the other spawn, and why I like to sit on that ridge line that you saw at D7 and 8 and get shots at people crossing into the town or trying to cross the field, is why I like that ridge. Because if someone takes this position or someone pushes aggressively down the B line, sure, you might get shots into them, but they're spotting you. And, like, these guys are spotted in the middle of the field. And if our team are on the ridge lines, there's pretty much nothing that they're going to be able to do. They're not going to be able to push to safety enough, and we can get some big shots into them and get some good spotting off. So we've got 780 damage so far. We've got 1 shell left in the clip. Artillery manages to hit us there, which was kind of surprising. I decided, you know what, okay, I'm going for the clip reload. We're just going to get this clip in and move up into a different position, because that bridge is like an initial position. You take that bridge so that you're safe from anyone that decides to make the cross, like the T-44 was, and then you can move up to these sections over here, to this ridge line over here, to stay safe from anyone that is on their ridge. And that way you can push up over here at A6, spot anyone that's sitting along at A7, A8, because the people do tend to camp there, and you can get some assistant damage from the guys behind, and you can get shots at people like this Jagdpanzer and try and stay safe. Now we end up putting 1 shot into that guy's side. It doesn't do any damage. The second shot we go for the drive wheel. Unfortunately don't hit him. We hit the floor. The second one, I think we hit the floor again, which is unfortunate. And then the fourth one tracks him only. A really unfortunate clip. The Jagdpanzer is a bit of an awkward target because of the angle he was at. I should have pulled up a little bit more there to get better shots at him. And unfortunately we ended up wasting the whole clip, which is sad, because obviously this reload does have a long reload, and the intro clip being as long as it is as well, if you waste a whole clip like that, it just feels so disappointing that you've done that. But the Jagdpanzer's gone anyway, and we're just waiting for the reload to go in before we manage to get some more shots. Now this 257, sorry, is my next target, and I'm looking at it, it's like, hello Mr. 257. We get 1 shot into his upper plate when it was unangled towards us. We get another shot into his side there. The 257 obviously can be a very awkward tank to pen, as we shoot his tracks there and don't pen, because that's what happens. This guy's doing his best to wiggle, and unfortunately we bounced the last shell in the clip as well. Poor marksmanship on the last shot. We should have gone for the lower plate. We tried to go for the upper plate there because I thought it was unangled enough, but we bounced, so it wasn't worth it. We're up to 1,500 damage, 804 assistance. We've only got 9 shells of APCR left, which is going to make it awkward because we can get 2 clips in at least, and then we'll only have 1 round of APCR, so we're going to have to make sure that we don't make the mistake of reloading only 1 shell for 35 seconds, because, say, that is painful. Now we've got some shots at these guys on the ridge. I'm looking at it and it's like, oh, okay, can I get shots of these guys? Am I going to waste a clip going for these shots? Yes, probably. So, well, I'm unspotted, right? This is where the camo is really quite nice, because I am unspotted. But we do manage to get 1 into the chieftain there as he over peaks. He gets 1 into us. I was hoping to track and pen him there, but we only end up tracking him, which is really unfortunate, and he manages to pull back, and he got a shot into us, which is annoying, because we need those hit points. But we do get 1 into the side of the FE4202 turret, and I'm just trying to avoid taking more hits from this chieftain now, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to drop down this ridge line and drop the reload of the clip. Because there was no point staying there, because they were all starting to focus on that one position. They were all hull down. The likelihood is they were going to shoot me, get damage into me, and therefore I wasn't going to get anything in return to them because they're in their strong positions. So now we're just waiting for the reload. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to stay here for a second. Nothing's threatening me. Nothing's going to be able to spot me. And I was safe where I was while I waited for the main bulk of this reload to go in. And as I pull forward, I end up getting spotted, and it's like, okay. Sure, that light tank was too far away to spot me, but I don't know what could have spotted me there, so I decided, you know what, okay, I'm not going that way. My first plan was seeing that those guys are pushing into our cap area. And I was like, well, I can get shots into their rear if I push over there. But I decided against it because I did get spotted, and it was like, okay, I've just been spotted. I didn't spot what was spotting me, and that could be my death. Unfortunately, the chieftain gets a shot into us there, which is, again, sad because we need those hit points. But we needed to take the hit, really, to be able to get into this position we're in now, which is to get some shots into this Type 4 heavy, move our guys on that are on this side, because they're currently bogged down with getting shots into this Type 4 heavy in Concept 1B. We just need to move them along. We need to speed this process of this flank up. So the Type 4 heavy stops looking at me, and it's like, okay, that's perfect chance. Get the shell in to finish him off. We've got 1 shell left. We're trying not to get shut down by the chieftain, because he can kill us in 1 shot now, which is annoying, like I say, because we took that hit. This concept's getting pushed into, and it's like, right, okay, I need to drop this final shell. We get one into him, and unfortunately the chieftain does pop up and get a shot into us. We get lucky, he low rolls, and then he leaves us alive. He is coming up to get a shot into us, but he takes a big slap in the side, and he's clearly focused now on the TD, but we're reloading. And my thought is now, I'm probably going to end up leaving the guys on this flank, because they are pushing into our cap. And that cap is obviously going to be a problem, because if they push into the cap, they're going to win if they cap from that side. If enough of them go in there, never going to get back if I'm still fighting those guys on their flank. But as we're pulling along, that chieftain is actually giving us shots into his side, and if he pulls up enough, I could still help the TD that's in their cap. But it's like, okay, no. There's one of the tanks that's in the cap. It's the Waffly 100. So we get one shot in. Unfortunately, the second shell misses. We're just looking for another shell into him. He's tracked in place. We make sure it's fully aimed. Get another shot in. Slimmer shot there, but it goes in compared to the second shot, is what it is. We missed the final shot in the clip, which is really annoying, but yeah. What can you do sometimes? RNG just says no. So we're reloading the second clip of heat because we've only got 2 rounds of APCR left, and it's just not worth reloading those APCR until we've run out of heat rounds. We just got to wait for the clip to go in, and then we can pull up into position to get shots at whatever is left in our cap. We have the TD at ED1, and he's running away from the cap, and I'm like, I really need you, sir. Because I don't have the hit points to take a shot. If I get spotted and looked at, I'm probably going to die. We don't need that. But luckily, this TD is actually pushing over here, and he's going to get this heavy tank out of the game at A1, hopefully. Which would make my defense of the cap definitely a lot easier. So we're going to pull up here to see if we can spot anyone in the cap. We actually spot the Valor there. We get one shot in, but pull back. We've reset the cap. We've done our job. We're not going to sit there to try and do the autoloader thing of where you just sit there and try and drop the clip into him. We don't want to do that because he will kill us, and we don't want that. So we've got one shot in to reset the cap, which is great. He is full health, which is really sad. But I now need this TD. I need his help. I need his hit points. I need his big gun. I need him to come and help me get shots into that guy to basically be able to reset the cap. I was thinking, you know what, actually, I'm going to try and get rid of this heavy tank from behind. And actually, we've got lucky that he's moved into the open. And we're going to get to shut him down, which is going to be so, so helpful. We drop the reload. I ping the reload to say to the TD, look, I'm reloading. Hang on. Because I reset the Valor, I knew I had time, right? And I didn't want that chieftain to get up behind us and start putting shots into our rear as we were trying to reset the Valor from different angles. And that guy, thankfully, drove into the open to try and get behind us, and I managed to get 2 shots into him. So because I knew I had time and I had shells in the clip, I just thought, you know what, we need to get rid of the chieftain, get rid of that threat, and then we can focus both of us on this Valor. But unfortunately, the TD has gone in by himself on this tank, and it's like, oh, I needed your big gun. He has put a big shot in, which has left him on 1,000 hit points, because he was on 1,800. But unfortunately, because he went in before I got there, it meant that the Valor was just able to farm him, which is, that's sad, because it means that now it's me, it's 1v2. It's me versus this guy. I'm on 30 hit points. He's pretty much on a 3-shot for me, and they've got artillery support. And I'm looking at this game so far. 5.2k damage, 1,611 assistance. I've had a damn nice game. But I want to win this game. I want to finish it off. And we've just got to get a reset into this guy and try and basically, like, kite him. So if I get a shot in, I've got to try and bait him to shoot somehow or change the angle. Make sure that he just can't cap it out. And I'll be able to do it. So we know exactly where he is. He's behind this building here, and I want to try and get the surprise shot from behind because I don't think he's expecting it, but unfortunately he ends up spotting me somehow. We get a nice shot into his upper plate there. He tried to snap the shot into me, missed, and now we're going to use this dead wreck. I know I've got time to get this second shell in, but I use this dead wreck in front of us. He ends up hitting the dead wreck, and I know with the artillery firing, I've got time to shut that guy down. And we finish off the T95 FV4201, which is the Valor, sorry, unskinned version, and we've got 6.2k damage, 611 assistance. Now it's just me versus the artillery, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to now reload APCR because I don't need the heat rounds for this artillery. And from where that artillery seemed to be firing from, I know where he could be, which is probably still in their spawn at A90. So I'm just going to push over that way to get towards him. Now, yeah, with that Valor, I knew where he was. He last saw me coming from J4. So when he was defending this cap, he thought I was going to reappear from that direction. So my best bet was to loop all the way around, try and stay unspotted until the last minute, and get a shot in to reset him. Because what I was hoping was I'd get a shot in to reset him, and then start to chase me, he'd get out the cap, and I could draw him into a longer range engagement. But that didn't happen. He just stopped in the cap, and I ended up getting spotted somehow through the building. I think there's probably little gaps in that building, been semi-destroyed, and he ended up spotting me, which ruined the element of surprise, and I had to use the dead wreck in front of me to make sure that he tried to fire and hit that wreck. Is what it is. So now we're going to use the great camo of the Char. We're going to try and spot this artillery out. I'm thinking, I know he's in this location somewhere. It's like, where is he? I'm not spotting him, reversing over. I was expecting to possibly get spotted by him, but I don't. We do spot the artillery up, though. We pull back, so he's outside of our detection range by quite a bit. And we drop the final 2 shells in the clip in to finish him off. And we managed to clutch the game out and finish with 6.6k damage, nearly 6.7k damage, and the 1600 assistance. The ace tanker, 4 kills. Top of the team, sorry. Ace tanker, Confederate, Defender medal, high caliber, 2.1k base XP, and a fantastic game for the Char Futur 4, which is a tank that I thoroughly enjoy at tier 9. It is a really nice tank to play. I'll leave it down to you whether you think it's worth the gold for how expensive this tank is. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!